Hey there, Dale.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing this happy Tuesday?
It's a beautiful Tuesday.
And that it is. We have quite a bit of drama, quite a bit of intrigue, quite a bit of news. My favorite one of the day, Lisa Cook, not Letitia James. We heard about the mortgage fraud there. Dale, what's going on with Miss Lisa?
Well, apparently they're sisters because they did the same thing. It appears she committed mortgage fraud on the loan application called two houses of primary residence. And we know you can only have one. So
Yeah.
I think she'll be finding a new job soon.
Right. And for those of you that don't know, Lisa Cook is a Biden appointee from 2024 as a Fed governor. So the main thought is that she's going to be replaced with someone a little bit more dovish. And that's going to put us into a situation where, well, we're definitely going to get that rate cut in September and possibly something more in the future. So that's something to look on the horizon. But one important thing, Dale, I kind of wanted to break this down a little bit. Just because the Federal Reserve lowers their interest rate, it doesn't necessarily mean that mortgage rates are going to follow it in lockstep all the time. Can you give us a breakdown of one very, very recent example of this?
Well, the very recent example would be in 2024, we had several rate cuts. And initially rates did go down, but they did go back up. And the reality is jobs and inflation.
Yep.
That is what drives mortgage rates. There are other factors, of course, but those are the main factors. And of course, inflation has been out of control.
Right. It's almost a reflection. I mean, a full year ago, we saw rates coming from the 7% range, dropping down in anticipation of the federal funds rate being lowered in September. And then it tapered off, and everyone was like, why? And then jobs reports were revised. Inflation still hadn't been taken and managed. And that's how we got that rise. We could see the potential cuts that took place, the cuts that took place last year. And the jobs numbers were extreme in September, November, and December after the revisions. Had the correct data been put out there, we probably wouldn't have seen any rate cuts occur last year in 2024. So here's a zoom out a little bit. Dale, I'm going to let you take the reins on this one because your experience on this chart, you've lived through quite a few of these big changes.
Well, I'd like to note, first of all, in 1984, when Homestead opened its doors to the public, rates were 13%. Isn't that awesome? So the reality is, in general, mortgage rates do follow the Fed fund rate, but not verbatim, not in lockstep, if you will, but there are trends, but there are other things. You've got inflation, you've got job markets, you've got wars, you've got all kinds of things that do play into it. But in general, rates will follow the Fed fund rate, and that's why we all want Fed fund rate to drop the rates a little bit.
Right. There are a few anomalies on this chart that are really important to look at. Namely, you can see them around 1975, just before 85, in the mid-90s, the early 2000s, mid-2010s. There's always this period where the Federal Reserve drastically drops mortgage rates. They drastically drop the federal funds rate, but mortgage rates do not follow it in the exact same format. And you can see that this drastic drop doesn't necessarily equate to good mortgage rates right away. And if we go back to the chart that we were looking at before, you might end up in a period where it tapers or rises depending on jobs and inflation data. So even if we look at right now, we're in the best rate environment of 2025. In fact, the best rate environment for the past 10 months, nearly 11 months, which is fantastic. It's really great news. But mortgage rates have tapered off. We already have that September Fed rate cut priced in. So what are we looking at, Dale? What does the short term versus the long term look like?
Well, hopefully short-term rates will continue to drop, but the September rate cut already being built in may not see a big drop. And of course, as we've said, inflation and jobs. Those are the big spoilers. The long-term potential for rates to be cut, well, with 2024 being as it was, and again, jobs and inflation, if that's not in control, we're not going to have lower rates. But the good news, bad news for Lisa Cook, the good news is with her potential firing, I think the September rate cut that we've all been anticipating really will happen.
All right. So, all in all, buy now. As we always say, I don't think this has ever changed. Date the rate, marry the house, buy now, refinance later. It's the best, most obnoxious advice, but even right now, it rings true. So, all right, Dale, thank you so much for the helpful analysis today.
Have a great day.
Take care.
Bye now.